Reds. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who is back? Team Goyam in the hizzy. My nizzy for shizzy. Giving out the. I'm going to do a shout out to my homies in the 313 and the 248. It's funny how, like, to be from Detroit, you got to be like, I represent the 313. Occasionally the 810, but you're definitely not allowed to say the 248. You lose all your street cred. The idea that you want street cred just shows you how stupid you are. I want to be credible of the streets. I don't care about, in the office buildings or anything. But yeah, here, look, I'm allowed to be here today. Okay. Um, yeah. I I got punished again. I wasn't not really sure why or how or for what I got punished, but I got punished. Hey, we have 2 people watching, 1 like. Appreciate the like. Appreciate the people watching as always. I'm really like I see this all over my Facebook nowadays. This idea that revelations is happening right now. And I just it's the exact same like ruse. It's the same, the root of the ruse is the same. Right? Cuz people are making these outrageous claims and then you ask them to elaborate on it and they shut that. I had a guy yesterday. God, what did he say? It was something on one of the he posted on a Tartaria post, and it was something about the Bible, and I said, how do people still, like, how can you accept the idea of Tartaria, accept all that shit? I'll go, what's going on? And still fall for religion? How do you still think the Bible's real when you look at Tartaria and you go, yeah, clearly the previous civilization, blah, 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 blah. During all that time when the Bible's supposed to be happening, Tartaria is happening. How do you reconcile that? And his response was, oh yeah, how do you explain giants? And I was like, well, I know that the Bible isn't the only explanation for giants. If giants are real or were real, then a lot more than biblical stuff explains it. And it's just like it's the same sort of ridiculousness. So I said that. I said, if they're real, the Bible's not the only explanation, but clearly you like stories and I don't know, I said some other shit, but it wasn't like I'm not like you're a fucking idiot or anything like that. But of course, he blocks me. He says something else and then blocks me, and because he blocks me, I can't read it, the thing he said, but it's just like it's so strange. And I think that's what I said was like, why do people like you always resort to desperate measures when asked to elaborate on the truth that you believe you have? If you knew what you were saying was true, you wouldn't hide. If you know you're speaking the truth, then you're going to stand on the rooftops and scream it. I know I'm saying the truth and nobody's going to tell me otherwise. Like, that's how we are, especially with the anonymity of shit like a live feed or Facebook or whatever. Why would be on social media and only think people are going to agree with you and then get mad when people don't? Like, it's weird. I expect most people not to agree with me. I'm going against the grain. But even I'll go, I'll go. I ask you, man. Like, you're one that pushes this notion that Revelations is happening right now, that we're in the beginnings of Revelations. And seriously, just from curious point of view. Like, what do you base that on? What does your average, it's Revelations time and I'm scared of everything. What does that average person, what do they justify it with? I just think it's it's weird how people are like quick to trust the system that they bitch about lying to them all the time. You know that the system that you subscribe to is like, when it comes to pedophilia, there's not another organization or whatever you want to call it out there that's more associated with pedophilia than the church. You know that. And you know that they cover it up and they lie and they pay people off and they move guys around and they don't punish the people that are guilty. And yet you trust them. And I just don't understand, like, if it was like, that guy across the street, yeah, he's a fucking pedo. He's registered a pedo, blah, 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 blah. You're not going to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to send my kids over to get some milk. Hey, go over to the pedo's house and get the milk, son. You won't do that shit. And I don't know, why do you do that with religion? Why do you trust anything these fucking liars have to say? They're liars. They're devious. They're awful. And I mean, like, if I'm wrong, then tell me what I'm wrong about. If you're watching this, don't forget to share it. I'd like to hear from as many people as possible. I want to hear as many opinions as possible. I want to know what people think. It's all a script. I mean, I don't know. It's our relationship is a unique one because I've been saying all these things forever, trying to get you to fucking pay attention, and you've wanted to pay attention to everything else. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why aren't you swimming? It's gonna rain soon. You guys better go get in the water. It's gonna rain soon. Hi. What are you doing? I'm talking on a video. What are you doing? Because I got hurt a long time ago. It keeps me from being hurt more, yes. Unfortunately, yes. I don't want it to get hurt anymore. Go play. Go enjoy the water. It's going to rain soon. Hurry up. Go swim. What? I can't hear you, baby. I still can't hear you. I'm just standing here talking to a video. What are you doing? Bye. Little towheads. It's just strange. It's strange, and this is. I was really hoping I could get to YouTube, and I would, at least get somewhat of the numbers that we were getting before. I mean, it's obvious what happens, right? Despite their best efforts, I'm watchable. People enjoy watching me. My voice is not, nails on a chalkboard in any way, and I'm not horribly ugly, and I must be talking about something that resonates with people. Because, you know, given the same equal opportunities that everybody else is given, I think it's my second to last video on here, or maybe, I don't know, had like 10,000 views on it. 8,000 something, or I don't know, I haven't checked in a while, so it could be at 10,000 for all I know. And for a guy that isn't, you know, that's not really a presence on YouTube, a guy with 200 some subscribers and who has purposefully stayed away from YouTube for the last few years, which is probably foolish, but whatever. For a guy that has all those things and is still able to go live and get 10,000 views, that's scary. That's scary. And what they did was found a reason to block me again. YouTube seems real sketchy about the whole vaccine issue. So, you know, I don't even know what I said last time, but apparently I said something. Who knows? I encourage you guys to look for yourselves, like to look at what they want you to know. I highly encourage you to go to Wikipedia and look up Dr. David Sensor, Sensor, I believe. And look up the whole 1976 swine flu vaccination program. It's really, really interesting what they want you to know. I'm not saying look into any conspiracies or anything. Look at the official narrative. Look at what the official, what the YouTube, the system wants you to know. You absolutely should. Maybe you'll have you'll see something I don't, and you can come back and share it with me and explain things to me a little bit better. So right now it says I have 4 people watching. Karen, hey bud, I came on, got booted straight away, but back now. Wow, they're kicking people off of YouTube too, huh? I wasn't expecting that. I don't know why, but I wasn't expecting that. So if you're watching, don't forget to like it. Don't forget to just take 2 seconds. Take the link for this fucking video and share it on Facebook. Share it with the caption, this guy's crazy. Somebody come put him in his place. Whatever you need to do. I want to hear from people that believe, like I was just about to say before Karen commented, there are 4 people here. I know one of you believes in Jesus. At least one of you. I know at least one of you has heard somebody say in the last few weeks, months, that Armageddon, we're fucking here. This is the end of days. Revelations is happening. There's so much God talk when it comes to Trump. You know what I find really, really interesting is all this talk with Trump, the right ear symbolism and the blood on the right, and God was with him and blah, blah, blah. Why is Trump's car, the official presidential limo under Trump's presidency, why is it called the Beast? And why do the religious people who love to look at every little coincidence and every little thing and try to associate it with something religious? That seems like a pretty obvious connection to me. The Beast. Interesting. It's crazy how there's all this talk right now about if Trump will debate Harris. Why wouldn't he? They're fighting for the presidency. Why wouldn't they have a debate if it's real? I've been saying since this whole shenanigans started that Biden was the perfect counterpoint for Trump because he's old and stumbly and stammering, and, they have something that they can focus on. I said from the beginning, he would get slaughtered by someone younger and sharper than Biden. And now there's that possibility with Harris in there. We get to see, because everybody keeps talking about what an idiot she is, and how stupid she slept her way to the top, and all the standard shit they do only with colored people. Only with people of color do the barbs really come out, do the gloves come off, and it's just anything goes. Anything goes. It's a good thing she has a feminine look to her, or everybody be talking about her. She's a man. But it's okay for Trump to be racist. From what my wife said, he got absolutely destroyed by that panel of black women. Well, I mean, who would think, let's put Trump on a panel with black women? Did they tell these women they're not allowed to say everything? Like, I don't, how that even got set up is far beyond me. But again, if Kamala is such a fucking idiot and she's so bad, then the Trump people should be the ones pushing for the debate more than anyone, because they want to see their guy eviscerate this stupid broad who slept her way to the top. How come they're not clamoring for it? How come they're not demanding it? I think it's because everybody knows. Everybody knows he'd just get destroyed. He's going to get destroyed. If she plays her cards right and she just keeps saying things like, "Can you just answer the question? Can you just answer the question that was asked? Can you just address the point that was made and not keep doing what you're doing?" As long as she keeps saying that, she should be good. Because, she keeps pointing to the fact that he doesn't seemingly know anything. He's an idiot. It shouldn't be a difficult thing to do. No, I'm asking you, Donald, what is your plan? What are you going to do about this? What platform are you running on when it comes to the opiate epidemic, or the rights thing, or anything like that? What is your actual stance on something? You seem to get away with not answering questions all the time. So instead of me, playing by the rules while you just do your own thing, I'm going to play it your way, and I'm going to just keep asking you to answer each question that was given. And until you answer that question, I'm going to keep asking the same questions. We're back down to 2 people. Interesting. You're telling me the 10,000 people that watched my video a couple weeks ago stuck around, we had a decent duration on that video and everything. All of those people, not one of those people sees that I'm live and goes, "Oh shit, there's that guy again." What's that mean? You look tired as shit. I was gonna say you look tired as fun.
I went to the beach with him yesterday.
That's always fun. I hear you're dumbass. I hear you're a straight fucking dumbass.
Why?
You know why?
Look at that.
For fucking or more. Not.
I'm trying not.
Yeah, well.
I'm not the one insinuating it.
I know, I get it.
And after all, I'm just start sucking. Do it. But
I can't even relate. Yeah.
I'm just trying to be cordial with it.
Dude, you're nuts. You're about to get her pregnant again. She's like off her pill and everything, right? I mean, I know somewhere in your head you want your kid to have a sibling from the same mom. So this is fucking with you.
Yeah.
Right.
But now we went to the beach and Widow wanted to try and go sleep on the beach. Widow sleep by her and wanted to lay by me, and I passed out. So here I go waking up at 3:30 in the morning with no way back to sleep. Because I don't sleep much. And now my whole baby's fucked.
Yeah, well, at least you're
They're
alone.
they're
Yeah.
really bad too.
Oh, you just never learn, man. You never learn. But I again, I find as much as you don't learn, the position you're in is fucked. I get like you being so traditional and shit. You don't want you have a bunch of different baby kids.
The little one's sick.
Right, right.
And guess we're going to the beach with them. She's like, oh, you want to come with me?
How old is she? Right.
And
Any more, it's too much.
And then when I tell myself, like I haven't been to a beach with her. I wanted some pictures. You know, I knew she was a little picture. I need
Right.
the picture taken at that, so I'm like, kind of want her to have different little scenarios, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. You never know what's gonna happen.
That's how I look at it.
All right. Yeah, it could be worse. I mean, at least she's fucking hot. That's all I can say. That it makes up. It could be worse, dude. You could be stuck with an ugly broad. No shit.
She's like, yeah, it's in the double door, so I figured you put them on all the shoes, the fucking.
Just leave me the fuck alone, man. Get out of here. Get out of here. Other people have to put their blinkers on and ignore it. Their blinders on and ignore it, especially with the church. Otherwise, they have to admit their whole life has been perverted with the sense that they have been groomed into the lie they live. Yeah, but that's everything, Karen. That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to get all of us to understand is everything exists in that realm. You've been groomed to believe everything you do for the reason that you do. And when you look at what's happening, that there is a genocide taking place, and the thing is, it's mostly women and children because Israel has already killed most of the men in the area. That there is a fucking genocide happening. It's not even like a secret genocide. You know, Israel is like proud of their horrendous behavior. And they have us, you know, not caring. That is, it's strange. You know, I feel like I've been fucking time warped or taken to a different reality or some shit where I don't understand. And at the same time, you know, like I literally told my kid this today, like, do not be me. You can't fight against the Jews. You can't fight against Israel because that will ruin your life. You'll have to tell your kid no because, you know, you weren't able to achieve what you wanted to because you went after the wrong target. And I mean, I had like this epiphany today. Like I was telling my kid, like, if I could go back in time and redo things and you know, take school seriously and not worry about making people laugh and not worry about chasing girls and not smoking pot and all that other shit. If I could go back and do that, I would. So why am I letting you, my kids, do the same thing? Like, at least head down that road. They're not there yet, but why am I not grounding you and just, you know, oh, well, you'll be mad at me and your life might suck a little bit for these few years, but once you get older, you'll thank me because you'll be able to be rich and do whatever the fuck you want to do. You won't be me. And it's like, that's a really hard thing to sort of reconcile with. Like, why am I not cracking down and making my kids be the kid I should have been? Look, we've got the standing underneath the water looking up at the surface clouds going today. that for some reason no one ever painted in all of history and all the history of art and all the history of paintings and, you know, the universal history where everybody seemingly painted the same thing in the same style all over the world somehow. Nobody painted skies that looked like you were looking up at the waves above you. Isn't that strange? In that something? It's frustrating. It's as frustrating as the one watcher thing. This don't make no sense. It does. It makes the sense in that, especially when you have Karen come in and say, "Hey, I got kicked off right away." Well, that's pretty eye-opening. Why does that exist that way? It seems like a pretty straightforward, simple question. Like all of it. All of this conspiracy. Like even this, like the clouds. You look up at that and that looks normal to you, and I don't understand how. Especially if you're my age or older, you remember when it didn't do this, right? You remember when everything was different earlier on in your lifetime, right? So why are you not acknowledging that there's clearly some skullduggery, some fuckery going on here? You know, I'm actually really proud to say that, like, as far as the been groomed aspect of things, like, I've actually looked into, you know, I believe the things I believe because I've actually looked into it and can have a reasonable conversation. I can defend my beliefs. I can, you know, I don't think most people can say that about fucking anything. You know, if you read the Bible because you were made to read the Bible and then recite it like it's a history book, then you're not going to retain that knowledge in perpetuity. You didn't read it because you liked it, and you definitely didn't read it from a skeptical point of view. You just read it to regurgitate. You know, it's a whole different animal. Like when you read the Bible from a skeptical point of view, you realize, wow, this is really dumb. This really doesn't make any sense. Like it's embarrassingly stupid. That's probably why most people don't know any of it. That's probably why most people, you know, will say dumb nonsense like, "Oh, I'm not very good at the scriptures part," or whatever. You know, it's fucking crazy. It really is crazy. The world we live in is fucking crazy. And more so than anything, I'm crazy for thinking I can do something about it. I'm watching Steven Seagal videos today. I'm watching videos of people who make fun of Steven Seagal. Like there's a whole community of people out there who make videos and, you know, Sensei Seagal and all. Like there are multiple channels dedicated to what a terrible actor and just a sort of piece of shit human being Steven Seagal seems to be. And yet this man is a god in Asia. You know, there are festivals in his name and shit. Have you talked to Charles about the Muslims takeover in Germany? Yeah, you know what, I have. And The truth is, you just like propaganda. You like racist propaganda, and you have this I'm from Tennessee racist programming inside you that you pretend doesn't apply to you. But every single chance you get to prove that you are that racist, you will. And Charles doesn't talk about the Muslim takeover of Germany. It's not a thing. The thing that people like you don't understand is that Israel controls Germany. England is getting a little unruly also. I just wonder if when you say all these things, do you hear yourself saying them in 2015 as well? Like, I remember you making all these same claims and arguments, for lack of a better word, back in 2015. It really is strange to see how inadequate and like
Is it raining? No.
it's about to be.
Yes.
And like uncreative, stale, you know, how basic the narrative is, and it's being repeated. Like, right, you should have waited. It's being done right in front of you, and you're just like, oh, okay. Yes, and it's getting worse. What are you talking about? I really am interested. Like, what are you talking about? Instead of just saying sort of blanket nonsense, make actual points. Talk about, why are you so determined to not talk about Israel? I don't understand. You want to talk about some fictitious...
Is that Jimmy in the truck? Or
No.
That's Stephanie?
Yeah. Some fictitious load of bullshit when what's really happening and has been happening and you were told was going to happen, and, you know, everything I could possibly do and say I did and said, and you especially were someone that kept telling me it's bigger than that. It's not just Israel, it's bigger than that. And now we're seeing that I was right. I was right. While you're being drugged back into the same old fucking script. You're falling for the same bullshit you fell for in 2015. And you don't see it? You don't see it as the same old bullshit rhetoric that you were given when they were trying to win the election the first time and absolutely lost? You know what I think is crazy? You're seeing all this rhetoric about, you know, will Trump debate with Kamala? They're running for president, right? Aren't they supposed to debate? Like, why wouldn't they debate? And the only reason they won't is because, like I was telling you from the beginning, Joe being the perfect candidate because he's old and stumbly and stammering and all that, if they didn't have that, Trump would get destroyed. They know Trump will get destroyed by Kamala. This narrative that she's such an idiot and she sucked her way to the top and blah, blah, blah. Well, if that's the truth, why not just put her out there and let Trump eviscerate her in a debate platform?
Well, Trump was the one that changed the debates to begin with. Like, if you remember, like the first time he ran, all of a sudden, like, we used to have like three main debates between the two presidential candidates once it got down to the two. And
We're supposed to this time. They were scheduled.
but when he ran the first time, remember, he wouldn't debate Hillary. And I think he only ended up doing one debate with her or some shit. Like, he changed it. And
Well, he didn't, but they did to
to suit him,
Right.
whatever, you know, but him running. So I didn't expect the debates to be normal this year, and they weren't. They're the one.
Indeed, the ICJ announcing the settlers need to get out. Now it's too late, of course. was nothing more than a slap in the face. Talk about it. Talk about too little, too late. The internet. Do you guys remember? I don't know. Maybe it was like 2 months ago. It was all over the news that the ICJ, the International Criminal Courts, basically the ICC, the ICJ, that they were going to that one guy had petitioned to file charges against Netanyahu and his people for war crimes, along with some Hamas generals for war crimes. And the story all over the place was either that's a good thing, those people need to pay. I don't really understand why you're punishing the Hamas people for responding, but if that's what needs to be done to get Netanyahu and company in trouble, then that's the right thing to do. Or you had the pro-Israel side that kept telling you, you can't compare Netanyahu and company to Hamas. And that's that. That was the argument. It wasn't.
His okay, so I told you I was listening to. It was on 105, and it was like all
It's still
day,
bigger than that, is it?
It was all day like political, at least all morning political stuff. It was yesterday, and they had Trump talking to a group of primarily black reporters.
Black women. It was a panel.
It was a panel, and the one lady asked him, okay, so one of the platforms you're running on is that you are going to give police officers immunity for in the line of duty shootings. She said,
Which is insane.
Sheriff just shot a lady, I think it was in Illinois, or maybe Indiana.
Indiana, I think.
She just shot her, and he's being charged with murder.
He should be.
He absolutely did it. She was unarmed.
She said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Yep.
And he was like, you better not.
Yep. And he shot her. And
In the head.
It was fucking in cold blood. So she said, when you're president and you implement this immunity for police officers, how does he play into this? Would he still be charged?
No.
Why would you give this man immunity? And he said, well, I mean, it's got to make sense. As long as it makes sense. She says, okay, well, what are your parameters that go along with this policy? Well, as long as it makes sense.
Right.
Like, so basically,
He can't answer any questions.
He didn't answer the question. He basically just said, well, it's up to me. If I think it's true, then it's they'll get immunity. If I don't think that they should have, then they're not, and it left the whole, she kept saying, but you're not answering the question. And he just left it that way. And that's how he does all of it. And we allow that.
The noises, but it's not raining.
Okay, well, it's not raining yet then. When it starts raining fully, then you'll know.
Why don't you go out and do dog shit before it rains?
Yeah, hurry up. Good thing you said something.
We'll take that later. We have another one somewhere. Must be on the porch.
Well, see, you say it's bigger than that, it's global. What is bigger than that, and what is global? How does that, Israel is part of global, and it's the main part. Yes, there are other things happening, and there are distractions. There are other elements to this equation, but what do you mean it's bigger than that and it's global? Who is in charge? Who is the they, the it's? Who is it? I can provide you with example after example of why this Israel thing is fucked up. You can't do that with the other stuff that you hear about because Alex Jones said it, or whatever goofy white dude with a beard said it. Why so much hatred towards Seagal? Because he's an asshole. Because he's an arrogant asshole, and he's a terrible actor, and, there's lots of reasons. But again, who gives a shit? If you're so famous that multiple people make videos about you, you're fucking famous. But this is that, yeah. You know, he's what he is because the system wanted him to be. They said that you're going to be famous, so he's famous. The truth behind Seagal's fame is actually two super agents were like fucking around. Two super Jew agents were acting like they were gods, and you know, I could make anybody I want famous. And the one Jew was like, "Oh really? Why don't you? You know, you really think so?" And he's like, "Fuck yeah, I could take anybody and make him famous." And he was like, "Oh well, what about your trainer guy? Make him famous." That's literally how he got to be where he was. That's where he got his opportunity from. He was a goofy, balding, you know, out of shape. He was goofy. He was goofy, dude. You watch those first fucking Seagal movies and they're terrible. You know, he's one of these action stars that when he shoots the gun, he blinks. He hasn't even bothered to learn how to shoot without blinking. Like a real killer does, like the real trained killers do. Arnold did it. Arnold spent all this time and effort learning how to shoot without blinking so he could do the Terminator role more effectively. Look at that shit. Speaking of Arnold, looks like Arnold's stomach right there. Look how big that is. Look at all the muscles. Looks huge. But, you know, back to the whole Israel Jew thing. Why do you insist that it's not them? That's what I don't understand. I don't understand your insistence that it must be something else. Why? The World Economic Forum. Right. You always say these things, but who do you think controls the World Economic Forum? Who do you think created the World Economic Forum? And why did they do that? You know, it's like it's the United Nations. Again, was created for what? By who? Hey! Let the dog in. Nick! Hello, Broly. Good boy. Thank you. Go in.
Come on, is it
Go.
ready?
It's about to be.
Come on, Roy.
The World Health Organization. Right. You say these things like look, there are 2 or 3 letter organizations that were alphabet. Go in the house. Get in the house.
Come on.
Broly, get in the house.
Get in the house.
Broly, let's
Now.
go.
Get in the house now. Go it.
Okay, go. Yeah, go in the house. What are you doing? Open the door. Go in the house.
Roy.
Go in the house. Good boy.
Get in the house.
Good boy. Broly, go in the house.
Get in the house.
Good boy.
Good boy. That's a boy.
Dumb dog. The Taiwanese government, the Ukrainian government, and the Israel government all have one thing in common. They were created by the West. But again, the West is not very specific, is it? And who would create these things for what reason? And the thing is, you can talk about Ukraine and you can talk about Taiwan all you want. There's no comparison to Israel. Like when people get mad about the money that we've given to Ukraine so far, do you know how much money it requires to fund the operation that we've sent over to Israel. Not just all the fucking weaponry that we've sent, but all of the people that we have over there, all the ships, all the fuel for the ships that are over there. What's actually been spent on Israel, you know, makes Ukraine look a lot less. It makes Ukraine look like a joke. And the reality is, the fucking, you know, most of the Ukraine stuff is just on paper bullshit. It's not like real stuff. You know, it's this legislation that gets stuck in Congress or whatever, and $200 billion to go to Ukraine, and like these are all things that make the Israel shit seem more feasible. So when they're talking about sending Ukraine $200 billion or Israel $16 billion, you're like, well shit, $16 billion, that's not nearly as much as $200 billion. And you don't pay attention. There's a reason for it. The Taiwan shit, again, it's part of it. You know, usually when there's, like with world wars, there's the Jewish, German, Israel, like that well, Israel wasn't a thing, but that area, that aspect, and then there's the Asian aspect, which makes it the world war. So if Taiwan is being brought into it, it's just part of the show, because they're not good at this, and they do the same shit. They read from the same script over and over again. Man, you are about to have a rough walk. I hope that's enough. Have a good day, man. That's a big dude. That little umbrella's not gonna do much. Oh, we're gonna get hit real hard. And let's see, the storm's coming from the west, southwest-ish, so at least it's not the blowback. Grandma always said, when the storm comes from the northeast, that's the problem. Because it's gonna blow and then blow back. Oh yeah, we're about to get hit hard. It's gonna be one of those things where the sky just opens up. It's just gonna rain. Like it's lightly sprinkling. What is this right above my head? It's not that sort of structure isn't anywhere else I can see, but right above my head, boy, that's fucking weird. It looks like the pop shit, you know, pop it. Plastic, the packing shit. Uh-oh. Probably gonna be loud. It's gonna be a good storm, though. You guys are gonna get good storm footage as well. Fucking crazy. It's crazy that I only have 2 viewers today. I thought for sure we'd do a little better than 2. But, I mean, I'm wrong all the time, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised by that. You'd think people would jump, religious people would jump at the opportunity. Someone like me says, hey, you're claiming your religious stuff is happening. Can you come show me how? I think they jump at that opportunity. Nope. Oh, it's almost here. I think it's significant enough. Go ahead. It's raining. It's raining. They get to play games today if it rains. Try to limit their game playing, because we're bad parents.
When you're done with your video, you want to play?
Yeah. I just see, to me, like I'll go. When it's now been quite some time, and you still only have the same basic answers, doesn't it bother you? Like to me, it's more stunning than anything. Anything else could have happened in the world and I would have been wrong. The only thing that could have happened to make me right is what's happening. And that's shocking to me. It's like stunning. I'm not used to being obviously right. I've been right, but it's never been this obvious before. And I'm proud to know that when asked, I can give you a shit ton of examples as to why I think the way I think. I can point to specifics. I'm not just going to say, oh, the 3-letter organization that they tell us to pay attention to. Like when you're talking about, well, Klaus Schwab said it on TV, it's like, why would they do that? Other than to distract you, why would they tell you to look right here? Look here while we're doing this, because this is the secret plan. It seems like that's the thing that they would do to get you to look over here so they could do the shit over here, which is still going to lead to the same outcome. But the way they do it isn't going to be in the way that makes them look like the bad guy. They're going to do it in a way that makes them look like the savior. And, when you have dumb Americans talking about the Muslims are taking over Germany and like all this shit, it's working. Clearly their plan, their script, like you said, is working. And it's weird because it's like, for me, I don't belong to any popular group thought pattern, right? Like, all the shit you say, the Muslim phobia, the Islamophobia shit, just all of it. It's all like typical white guy shit. You have a beard, either you shave your head because you're balding, or, you let your hair grow long, but you have your long shit beard, and you're a proud American, and you're Christian, and you're a Trump supporter, and you're, China did it, and Muslims are the bad guys, and all of the things that the media tells you to think, you proudly think them. And I just find that fascinating. When you never question why Alex Jones is allowed to be a fucking multi-millionaire, I question you. I think, like, what could you possibly, what fuels your logistics? How did you get to where you are? And more often than not, I'm left like I am now. You know, asking reasonable questions that if somebody asked me these same questions, I would have answers to. I'm sitting here asking reasonable questions and the other person runs away. Says the pull cord responses, it is the WHO, the UN, the WEF. They are who is doing it. And you go, who are they? I mean, immediately, my questions are always, who are they? How did they get there? How did we get the World Economic Forum? How did we get the World Health Organization? Or how did we get the UN? You know what? Let's do something else. Pedophiles, kill yourself.